Welcome into another victory edition of Browns Live. Your 3-1 Cleveland Browns now coming off a 14-7 win over the Minnesota Vikings. And on today's show, we'll talk to one of the heroes of that game, cornerback Greedy Williams. Plus, Joe Thomas and I will go in the film room. But we start with this week's game review with the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski. And, Coach, we're going to talk to Greedy in a little bit on this show. For all that he has been through, to go out there, play that game, get his first career interception. What was that like, coaching him and seeing him do that?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Greedy. I think last year was hard. It was really hard. He was out, didn't get a bunch of good news throughout his rehab early. Felt like he was just kind of constantly almost plateauing in his rehab, and then finally got some good news and got better and better. So that wasn't an easy year for him to go through emotionally, mentally, physically. So him to work how hard he worked and now see the fruits of that labor, like you mentioned, making a big play for us in that game was awesome.
Coach, you do things that you are confident in, and clearly you are confident in Chase McLaughlin, and he is showing you why you have that confidence. He already made 3 kicks of more than 50 yards. For a Browns kicker in a season, that hasn't happened since 2012, the great Phil Dawson. What is it about Chase that says, yeah, we're going from 53, we're going from 57?
Yeah, he's proven to be consistent in practice, and then what we do is we get to the stadium and we see how he kicks in the stadium and how he's doing that day, and you make your determinations based on that. So he keeps coming through from a preparation standpoint. He's a guy that we can call on and can count on him.
You can count on your defense to get after the quarterback back-to-back weeks, over a 50% pressure rate, which is insane in the National Football League. What are those guys up front showing you? And I call him a fearsome five-some now because you throw Tack in there and his relentless motor as well.
You got to be relentless. You said it, and you got to work together. I think that's something that a D-line, these guys are getting better week in and week out with the practice, with the work with Coach Kiffin, because so much of it, while there are times where we straight rush, there are also times where you're running these games and stunts, and you got to work together, and I think that's what you're seeing. I see the work in practice from these guys. I see it in their individual periods, and then I see it carry over into the game.
What did it tell you about your defense? That opening drive, they just went right down the field, 75 yards, looked kind of easy. Not again. Didn't happen. Nothing even remotely close to that. They didn't get into Browns territory until basically the end of the game when you were playing prevent defense.
Yeah, it's a really good offense. We worked very hard defending them and having a plan. And in that first drive, they made some good plays. And quite honestly, I thought Joe and the defensive staff had some great adjustments. And it's really those adjustments don't just happen at halftime. They're in between series. Sometimes they're in that series on the headset, hey, we should give them this. So I think the staff did a great job, and then the players ultimately executing the game plan.
You talk so much about situational football. 2 minutes, and in the first half, that's where you guys won this game. What was kind of the mindset there? Is that something you felt like very comfortable your team was prepared for that?
Yeah, I thought the guys knew what our plan was going to be if we got into a 2-minute drive. Kareem rips off an amazing run, and he gets out of bounds. So we were back in the driver's seat, if you will, with time, with timeouts. I just thought the guys were on point in their execution.
When you're calling these plays and you're putting together, 18 play drives and you're leaning on that ground game, and all of a sudden you look up, Nick's got 100 yards, Kareem's, in the high 70s. Sometimes you're saying to yourself, how does this even happen? Because sometimes the Nick one, it felt like just quiet. It was 5, 4, 9, no huge runs, and then all of a sudden he had 100.
Yeah, I think in that game in particular, I don't believe there were any negative runs. Maybe we didn't rip a huge one off. Kareem obviously ripped a big one off, but it was more of just a steady body blows throughout that game. And I think you've seen us over the course of the last couple of years with this offensive line and these tight ends and the running backs. We're going to make some yards in the fourth quarter if we're able to at least start to impose our will first, second, and third quarter.
Yeah, you can really see you are wearing defenses down, and you get to have one of those guys fresh at all times, which is a tremendous advantage. We talked about Greedy stepping in. We talked about Grant stepping in. Malcolm Smith's a guy who has really stepped in, and maybe this is leading the witness, but our question from Gene Moses is, who's the most underrated player on the roster? And, you've had Anthony Walker out, and the good news, he'll be back. Malcolm Smith's really stepped in and played nicely.
Yeah, Malcolm Smith's a great answer right there. And I just think the value he provides to this team, obviously you see it on game day, but I see it every day in the building. I see it in the meeting rooms. I see it out on the field. This is a vet, and he takes the young guys and he takes them under his wing and he shows them the way. And that's so important. If you want to be a good team, it's so important to have those veterans that can show these young guys the way. And Malcolm's playing really good ball. He's somewhat even playing out of position at the Mike linebacker position, but he's coming through, making plays. He's gotten a game ball the last couple of weeks. He's playing at a really high level.
Yeah, this team really coming together, especially on that defensive side of the ball the last couple of weeks. We're going to talk with one of those defenders, Greedy Williams, when Browns Live returns.
about 7-Up is. It always looks good, sounds good, and tastes good. There's nothing like the crisp, clean, refreshing taste of 7-Up.
Did you know tires from Conrad's include everything you need to deliver maximum life and performance? Lifetime rotations and balancing, flat repairs, wheel alignment inspection, plus 3 years of road hazard protection. Count on Conrad's for the best total value.
Right now, get up to $120 off instantly on a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires when you use your Bridgestone CFNA credit card.
Subject to credit approval.
Bridgestone, official tire of the Cleveland Browns, proudly sold at your hometown.
Hey girl, you look bored as heck. I think it's time for a little vibe check, please. Here, have a Snapple. Let's have some fun. Who, me? Sure, everyone. Do yourself a flavor with Snapple. Now this new bottle's a vibe.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
Thank you for coming today. I'd like to read a brief statement. As the special meals coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, I'm proud to have drafted Mid's True Sicilian Pasta Sauce with our first pick. Made in Ohio for over 60 years, he's a hometown hero. From hearty meat sauce to classic marinara, there's no doubt Mids is ready for Sunday dinner. We know the taste is there, though his skills on the field will need improvement. But we're working on it. Day in and day out. Well, he practices about 3 days a week.
Touchdown, Nick Chubb! He's done it again!
Cleveland Browns fans, joining our season ticket member waitlist has its benefits. From exclusive team content to first access to single game tickets, membership starts at just $100 per seat. Joining the waitlist is the first step to becoming a season ticket member and getting these special benefits.
The Browns are winners again!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets for more information about the waitlist and your chance to be a part of the Browns' future. Welcome back into this victory edition of Browns Live. Nathan Zegura, very happy now to be joined by my co-host, the Hoff, Joe Thomas. And Joe, wasn't necessarily pretty, but when you go on the road and you beat a quality opponent in the NFL, that is a big deal, is it not?
Absolutely. It's not always how you win. It's how you find a way to win. And the Browns found a way last weekend against the Minnesota Vikings. Wasn't the best offensive performance. Defense has come a long way. But if you want to win a championship, you got to be able to find a way when your offense isn't clicking to be able to win, especially when you're on the road.
Yeah, and this defense stepped up, a guy who really stepped up, Greedy Williams. First start since 2019, goes out there and comes away with his first career interception. What did you see from Greedy and a defense that's had a lot of guys just step up when given the chance?
Well, I saw the defense playing well together. They were flying around the field. They were helping make plays for the other guy. They were willing to blow up a block to be able to set up their buddy to make the big play. Greedy Williams was fantastic in his start, showing off some of that long speed and that ball hawking ability that made Browns fans so excited when he was drafted here a couple years ago.
Yeah, and for Greedy Williams, this was years in the making, battling that unique nerve injury in his shoulder. He worked so hard to get back, and at times he thought he might not get back, but boy, did he ever with a huge interception, and he caught up with our Andrew Gribble in this week's Player Spotlight presented by McDonald's.
All right, we're joined now by Browns cornerback Greedy Williams. And Greedy, you can't have a much better first start than the one you just had Sunday in Minnesota. Walk me through what the entire experience was like, including your first career interception.
Man, it was amazing, just going through practice, getting more reps as far as things like that and, just dialing into the game plan and thinking to myself, go out and play football and make plays when it's time. So that's kind of what's my mindset going into the game. And I feel like, I did a great job for us, the things I wanted to do.
I know you started 12 games in 2019, but it'd been a while since fans had seen you. But how much better of a cornerback are you since the last time you were on the field at that time?
You just got to elevate every year, man. I was able to take a year off But it gave me, more knowledge of, studying the game as far as reading routes, combinations, and, gave me time to work on a lot of footwork, things like that. So, I knew once I got my opportunity, just to get back out there, I was going to make the best of it.
That deep pass you intercepted off Kirk Cousins, was that a play where from the moment he released it, you thought you had a chance on it, or how did that work?
No doubt. I obviously, my guy went inside, so that gave me vision on the quarterback. So, I just seen him, cock back, and once I seen him release it, my mindset was to go find a receiver. And once I found the receiver, I knew he was going right where the ball was. So it gave me an easy opportunity to make the play.
Now, you talked about it after the game. It had been a long time since your last interception, and that's not necessarily a reflection of how you're playing. Sometimes they just don't happen. But how good was it to get that off your back and you can move forward now with your first interception?
Man, it feel great, man. Just to get that one out the way, and it give you more confidence to get more. So, man, just happily excited. Happy we got the win, but it's time to kind of move on and make more.
Now, you were a part of kind of another historic defensive effort from this team, back-to-back games in single-digit points for the first time since 1995. What was it like being a part of that, and what are you seeing from this group on why it's playing at such a high level?
Man, just watching on film, man, our D-liners, man, they them guys are getting it, man. As far as like 15 hits on the quarterback, that's a lot. So, they kind of discourage the quarterback and, make the quarterback make a lot of bad reads and, with our tight coverage on the back end, give us an opportunity.
The competition maybe goes a little bit up this week with the Chargers. They're playing really good. They're 3-1. Justin Herbert's doing a lot of big things for their offense. How important is it for the defense to kind of keep building off these moments that you guys have had early in the season?
It's very important. We just got to stay dialed in and, trusting the coach's game plan and, us believing in one another and, put what we do on film. So, it's a great opportunity, just to play with great guys and, be coached by great guys.
All right, Greedy, thank you very much and good luck Sunday in Los Angeles.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Great to hear from Greedy. Even better to see him playing. What he went through is tough. Not only was it tough physically, but mentally and emotionally. And Greedy, we salute you. Congrats for getting back out there and for making big plays to help the Browns win. When we come back, we're going to go into the film room. We'll look at Greedy Williams' interception as well as some great scheme trickery from our head coach, Kevin Stefanski, on a 2-point conversion. That's all coming up when Browns Live returns.
Let's take a quiz. What should you look for when choosing a lawyer? Competent counsel, fair compensation, personal attention, experience? Yeah, it's a pretty long list. The fact is, choosing a lawyer is a critically important decision and well worth researching. That's why Elk & Elk is the right choice. Our team has recovered over $1 billion for our clients and has experience trying cases just like yours. Elk & Elk. Every client, every day.
As a family-owned and operated business now in its third generation, we believe in the handshake. We believe in having a relationship with our customers that gives them the peace of mind that they can call us at any hour and we can help them with any problem that they have or any special circumstance. As I've grown in this industry, I've tried to instill the different things that my grandparents did, the different things that my dad has done to make people feel that they truly are at the best place in private EMS.
The thing about 7-Up is, it always looks good, sounds good, and tastes good. There's nothing like the crisp, clean, refreshing taste of 7-Up.
bored as heck. I think it's time for a little vibe check, please. Here, have a Snapple. Let's have some fun. Who, me? Sure, everyone. Do yourself a flavor with Snapple. Now this new bottle's a vibe.
Welcome back into this victory edition of Browns Live. Nathan Zegura and the Hop, Joe Thomas. And Joe, in the olden days, we used to say, oh, we can break this season up into quarters. Well, I guess we kind of can, but you get a bonus game at the end of the year. But the first quarter for the Browns, 3-1. And I would say we have not yet played a complete game of 60 minutes where both sides of the ball and special teams were all firing. And yet, 3 wins, only 1 loss.
Yeah, you've got to feel really good where the Browns are, finishing the first quarter-ish of the season at 3-1 after playing the Chiefs, opening the season in Arrowhead, and then going on a little bit of a roll. Offense playing really well. Obviously, a little bit of a dip from Baker last week, but defense continuing to progress each and every week. It'll be very exciting to see how well this defense is playing come December if this trend continues.
Yeah, the Browns right now have the number 2 overall total defense and the number 1 rushing attack. And when we get this passing game going again like it was early in the year, look out. Time now to go into the film room for this week's play breakdown presented by Microsoft. And we're going to start with a look at the defense and the man who was in our player spotlight, Greedy Williams. And as we look at this one, Hoff, this is going to end up being a max protect. They call these shot plays. They're going to do a little play action fake and send both receivers deep, Thielen and Justin Jefferson, crossing in the middle to try to create some confusion. And in this case, it works. As we look at this play unfold, you get the play action fake, and right here, the Browns have Denzel Ward, deep half. You've got right here Greedy in a deep quarter as well. And then you have the 2 in the middle. John Johnson, as you see Greedy pointing out Justin Jefferson, John Johnson has eyes on him. Now, Grant Delpit maybe should run here with Adam Thielen on this deep over, but Greedy knows his responsibility is deep, gets underneath it, and as you can see, makes a great play.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting for Joe Woods, seeing how the secondary is coming together and they're communicating. It doesn't always take all 4 guys being right to be able to handle the different route concepts that they're going to see, but you got to be able to communicate and be on the same page with somebody. Here you see Greedy pointing out the routes that he's seeing. He's understanding what they're getting, and he's able to make the correction as the 2 guys in the middle of the field have a little bit of a mix-up over who's taking who, but great job by Greedy Williams. He's got the deep third on this coverage, and he's able to understand, hey, I've got nobody short, so I can be the security blanket and kind of take over when Grant jumps the short stuff to be able to run in front of Adam Thielen and then get in his way and run the route for him, get his head around, which he does, and make a great play on the football, showing us exactly why he was drafted as highly as he was just a few years ago. Big play for the Browns. If he doesn't make this play, Adam Thielen's got an opportunity for an explosive play, and the game might turn out a little bit differently.
And now we're going to take a look at the Browns' 2-point conversion. And this one is special because, remember, the play before was a Browns touchdown, Kareem Hunt running it off the left side. And they were in basically this same formation. On the play before, Harrison Bryant went in motion and kick out blocked here. Kareem followed it in for a touchdown. So what does Kevin Stefanski do? He's going to add a little wrinkle to it. This time it's going to be the fullback Andy Janovich going in motion. And they think, oh, they're going to run that same play right through here, just on the opposite side. But instead, Andy Janovich is going to just slide right out to the flat, and it is going to be wide open for that touchdown, Hoff.
Kevin Stefanski is very well known as an offensive coordinator for making his runs look like his passes and mirroring plays so that it confuses the defense and allows the defense to not play as fast as you're playing on offense. And here you see, as Andy Janovich runs quickly across the formation, the Vikings defenders are trying to communicate who's got who in the pass coverage. Because if you remember, Harrison Bryant started in the fullback position, shifted up to that YY wing that you're looking at right there. So those guys in the secondary, they're trying to decide who's got who in coverage. Andy Janovich comes too quickly across the line of scrimmage. Harrison Bryant does a great job of shielding, not quite a pick, but just shielding and muddying up the guys that are in coverage. And it allows Andy Janovich to sneak into the flat for the easy completion from Baker Mayfield.
And that's got to be one of those things that's satisfying when you get back to the sideline, right, Joe? When you know, okay, we showed them basically the same thing. We run it in for a touchdown. Now we flip it. They think it's coming again. By the way, might have worked if we just handed it off, too. It looked like a nice hole for Kareem Hunt. And then we throw it to the fullback, Andy Janovich. Is that when you get the sideline and you go, yeah, that was pretty good there. Our coach was onto something.
Yeah, as a player, you love it when a plan comes together, and that's how you build trust between a play caller and his players, is because the play caller is putting the players in position to succeed. He probably told them about this on Saturday when they were going through the goal line. Hey guys, the first time we get it, it's going to be the Kareem Hunt run. The second time, we're going to give him that look, and we're going to run Janovich into the flat. I bet he'll be wide open because they can't communicate fast enough who has who. And sure enough, when it shows up on Sunday, now that they're going to hear that again from Stefanski, and they're going to go, hey, it worked last time. I believe you. I trust that you're going to put us in a good position. So that is so important to build that communication and trust between a player and his coach.
Beautiful insight as always, Hoff. And when we come back, we're going to talk to that play caller. The head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, joins us to preview the Browns and the surging Chargers next on Browns Live. Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. Browns Fit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for Browns Fits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fisk.
And we're the founders of
Graham and Fisk Wine in a Can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Awards. You can buy and get delivered right to your door by visiting grahamandfisk.com or from participating local retailers.
Cleveland Browns fans, joining our season ticket member waitlist has its benefits. From exclusive team content to first access to single game tickets, membership starts at just $100 per seat. Joining the waitlist is the first step to becoming a season ticket member and getting these special benefits.
The Browns are winners again!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets for more information about the waitlist and your chance to be a part of the Browns' future.
A parent or spouse, a neighbor or friend, we care for the lives entrusted to us with technology, medicine, expertise, and passion, delivered with understanding and support. Not just addressing heart and vascular problems, truly caring for you as a person. We are University Hospital's Harrington Heart and Vascular Institute, and we are here for you.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura, the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, for this week's game preview presented by Ticketmaster. And Coach, it doesn't get easy in the NFL. Every week a big challenge. Last week in Minnesota, this week on the road to LA to take on the 3-1 Chargers, who are off of back-to-back wins over the Chiefs and the undefeated at the time Raiders. This is a good football team led by a very good second-year quarterback, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, I think. And if you think about it, it's a new system on offense, defense, and special teams. And I think the guys have a great feel for what they want to do. I think the quarterback's playing within the system. He's really big, he's really athletic, he can make every throw, and he's making good decisions. And I think with that team, they're +3 in the turnover margin. They certainly understand how to win, and it's evidenced by these last 2 games where they beat their division opponents in some really big games.
Yeah, in those 2 games, clean sheets on offense, 5 takeaways on defense, and often that's enough to tell you what happened in those games, isn't it?
That's exactly right, and that's something that we talk quite a bit about around here. And just going back to our last game, we were +1 in a really tight game. You come out of there with a victory. So again, the focus for us going on the road, which is so important to play clean football on offense and so important to take that ball away on defense.
So you were brought in to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns because what you did as an offensive coordinator. Their head coach Staley was brought in for what he did as a defensive coordinator. What has this Chargers D shown you? I know they've got Bosa, they've got Derwin James, Samuel Jr. is playing at a high level. They've been pretty good on that side of the football.
Yeah, they have impact players really at every level of their defense, and they do a nice job. They'll give you multiple personnels. I think they have 3 or 4 different nickel packages. They have dime, they have their base. So it's very versatile from a personnel standpoint. And then from a front and coverage standpoint, you're also going to see guys moving around. Derwin James plays a role for Coach Staley like John Johnson played for him with the Rams. He'll line up at nickel, he'll line up at safety, he'll line up at the dime. He'll really be all over. So they have a versatile attack, and that means we have to be really good in our identification and our communication on offense.
And that leads us to our question of the week from Michael Argento, and he says, if you had to choose on which is more fun for you, building the game plan during the week or the play calling and in-game adjustments, that chess match between you and, in this case, their head coach?
Yeah, I really enjoy both. I would tell you that the game plan building, I think we have a really good process. I think our coaches are heavily involved in putting that plan together. And then game day, it's a team effort. So I always tell the guys they could call plays. You just put your finger on and you start reading. All those plays are on there for a reason. We feel confident in them. We feel confident in our players.
Offensively, we're coming off some back-to-back great defensive performances, truly dominant. Offensively, some misses, some opportunities, though, that are presenting themselves and still enough to win. That's the bottom line here in the NFL. What's kind of that next step to get this offense where you want it?
Yeah, I think we missed on some opportunities in this last game. I've seen us hit them in practice. I've seen us hit them in games, so they will come. It's kind of similar to our sack numbers, and we're applying pressure, and then the sacks come in bunches. I feel confident in the plan. I feel really confident in the players. And we just got to continue to grow and work at it. Not to say that you're going to hit 10 of them this game or 20 of them the next game. We'll hit our shots, but we just got to stay on track and make sure that we're moving the football.
And you can always move it on the ground. And if you look at this Chargers, statistically speaking, last week was the anomaly. They shut down the Raiders, but that was game flow. They're down 21-0. This is a team that you can run the football on. And when you can run the football, that potentially opens some things up for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, this defense is unique. They play a lot of shell coverage, a lot of cover two. They're good players.
Yeah.
They have good guys up front, including number 98, Linval Joseph, who I was with in Minnesota, is a huge, huge man, great player. So nothing's going to be easy, whether you run it, whether you throw it versus this front. So we just got to make sure we're about our business, and when we get to third down, you got to stay on the field. You got to find a way to continue to move those chains.
You know, a lot was made of some of the comments by Joey Bosa that, when Derek Carr gets hit or you get pressure on him, you can run. Isn't that true of every quarterback in the NFL? Isn't that the one way to disrupt any passing attack? If you're hitting them and making them throw it before they want to, chances are the defense is going to have success.
It is, and that's what you talk about when you get the players in on Wednesday and you present the game plan to them. Every week we're trying to apply pressure to the quarterback, and I don't think there's any quarterback that likes to get hit,
Sure.
over and over and again. But I know that affects the quarterbacks throughout the game, and if you can apply consistent pressure, I think from your defensive front, whether you're blitzing and or not blitzing and rushing forward, it affects the passers because it makes them move off their spot. It makes them change their launch point, change their arm angle. So it is only going to applying pressure is only going to help the defense in that regard.
And Coach, so far your team, according to Pro Football Focus, has applied pressure more frequently than any team in the NFL. We'd like to see that continue this week. Best of luck on Sunday against the Chargers.
Thanks, Nathan.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Browns Live. Don't forget, Sunday, 11 a.m. on News 5 Browns Countdown. We'll have live look for you from SoFi Stadium as the Browns get ready to take on the Chargers in a battle of 2 3-1 teams. Thanks to Greedy Williams, Joe Thomas, of course, our head coach, Kevin Stefanski. I'm Nathan Zegura, thanking you, the best fans in all professional sports, for watching another edition